That's an ANKH. Everybody know what an ANKH is?
Yes.
An ANKH is in actuality an archetype. It's an archetype. What is an archetype? An archetype is a symbol, an original symbol, that represents layers of information. On one level, you have the vesica Pisces here. On another level, you have life. Everyone know what the vesica Pisces is? Oh, okay. All right, let me go back a little bit. I'm moving too fast. It's supposed to be one-on-one. That's the vesica Pisces, the vagina. It's also known as the vessel of the fish. These are things you're going to have to know if you're going to be reading metaphysical stuff and going to lectures. You got to know what that is. It's called vesica Pisces, which is the vessel of the fish. Why is it the vessel of the fish? It's shaped like a vagina, it's shaped like a fish, and the vagina what? It smells like a fish. It's very simple. It's very simple. Now, what's interesting about vesica Pisces, before I go back to the ANKH, because what's up, my brother? We are talking about layers. An archetype is layers. A symbol is one, mean one thing. An archetype have layers of interpretation throughout time, layer after layer, and that's what the Illuminati does. When they use rituals and put symbols up, they layer it over and over and over. So vesica Pisces mean life because that's where you come from. That's the top of the ANKH there. And inside there is what's known as the two fish, or the 69. You ever see the symbol for Pisces? Or the yin and yang?
Mm-hmm. Those cancers.
Cancer. Pepperell? No. Vessel of the fish. The origin of the vessel of the fish. Why? Why is it the vessel of the fish? Because that 69 is really the two fish you see in Pisces. Pisces is two fish, right? Why? One is male and one is female. Yin and yang, one is male and one is female. Because the female has the vagina, and the male also has the symbol of the vagina on the tip of his penis. That's what this is. It's the vessel from which all that comes. The vessel of the fish. So now, archetype is a system of layered information. It's the original source. It all exists in your DNA. Now, besides the levels of information, what else does it have? What else does it have? It has what you have, a reflection. A reflection, which is an opposite. That's why sometimes you'll see the five-pointed star facing up. Sometimes you see it facing down. It's just a reflection. And it gives you the concept of good and bad and evil and all that stuff, which is really programming. We're going to talk about that. And in actuality, the symbol, let me just talk about this symbol as we go on, to show you how these archetypes have layers. When you see this symbol here, that's in actuality power. That's what a pyramid is, power. When I draw a line going across like this, that in actuality is psychic energy. That's psychic energy. So you got power and psychic energy going on. Then if I put a little X there, like that, that's expansion. Expanding, powerful, psychic energy. Five-pointed star. We all know that the six-pointed star, again, has layers. Six-pointed star also has layers. Somebody tell me what that means.
Male and female?
Male and female, basically. When you merge the triangles together, the reflection, this one is what?
Female.
Female. Female on top. Male on the bottom. But now, what's interesting about that, when you merge the two, it actually becomes male. Isn't that interesting? Why is that? Why does this become male? This is female. Star is synonymous with Ishtar, who is synonymous with Sistar, who is associated with Isis. Isis, Sistar, Ishtar, six-pointed star, the whole nine. All dealing with, that's Isis' symbol, the five-pointed star, the female emblem, like this, with no penis sticking down. This one has what? Penis. Okay. So a lot of times when we talk about the Illuminati, which we're going to get into a lot of that later on, ritual ceremony and all like that, what they do is they layer. They use the five-pointed star. We talked about get the sex magic. We talked about the rituals they do. And what they do is they put the six-pointed star over the five-pointed star. And that really represents what's going on between America and Israel. America being feminine, Israel being the male. And by the way, do you all know that Israel came out and told Obama, let Madoff go. So that tells you where all the money went, to build those underground bunkers for him and all that. Israel's telling Obama he got to let Madoff go. They're married to each other. We got this star on the American flag. That's the Jewish flag. They're married, husband and wife. Okay. So archetypes represent these different varying energies or breakdown of information. And it also has what? I just said it. It also has what? It's a class, it's not a lecture. A reflection. You're going to need to know this to even begin to read metaphysical information, heavy stuff. You're going to have to know this. You're going to have to know the vesicle Pisces. You certainly got to know what the Ankh is, and its layers, and its Nephthys, the reflection. You're going to have to know all these symbols. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in those books. Yeah.
Do you have a tape of today's session?
Yes, the tape. These classes, the tapes won't be released for these classes until September, when Metaphysics 102 starts. Okay, so it's a box set. You're gonna have to get it that way. Also, we have Hakeem Bey coming in, and he's going to stream some of the classes live over the internet. Okay. So, why did I show you the Ankh? This is an exercise we're going to do right now. Everyone recognize that?
Yeah.
Now, how do you use this on? How many of you all seen any of the lectures I've done? How would I use this on? Right. You know, sometimes people say knowledge is power, but is it really? It's the use of the knowledge that makes it powerful. The use of knowledge makes you wise. Wisdom. In the Bible it says, with much knowledge comes much wisdom. That's only if you activate the knowledge. If I got knowledge of how to do shit and I don't do it, then it's worthless. Right. So, knowledge has to become wisdom, which is also dealing with silver. Who was the wisest man on the planet? Oh, we don't know. That is great. I asked a few people that they didn't know what I was talking about. Praise the Lord. Solomon was the wisest man? Where was his temple? Anybody know?
Jerusalem.
His temple was right here.
Hey.
Now, I want you to feel your temple. Put your finger on your temple. Slide back a little bit. You see how long it actually is. Hold your finger there. Now put your finger right here at the bridge of the nose. That's exactly where your pineal gland is. Exactly. At the bridge of the nose, in the center of the brain. That's where soul of man, or Solomon's temple was. Soul meaning son. Okay? It's not a temple to go build somewhere. It's already built. That's why he was the wisest man. Because that's where wisdom sits. That's where all your realities throughout time, thousands of years, that information sits in the pineal gland. That's why it was so important. One of the reasons. The ANKH. What we're going to do right now, what I want you to do is, if you can, clear out your lap and set your feet flat on the ground. Take a deep breath in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. That's a cleansing breath. Sometimes when you're outside and you feel a little weak, or you're breathing and it's spraying and all like that, what you do is breathe in through the nose deeply and then out through the mouth. That's a cleansing breath. Visualize the air coming in as green. Healing. Green. That's, if you could see oxygen, that's what color it would be. Green. Visualize green going in through the nostrils, and whatever dirt you want coming out. That's a cleansing breath. You automatically begin to heal yourself. Everything that I'm talking about here is inside you. I'm showing you who you are right now. Everything they talk about in those metaphysical books, occult, is you. We're going to prove that. Now, this ANKH is royal blue, surrounded by brown. Blue is the color of the, not only our pineal gland, which is slightly darker actually, and communication. Blue is the color of communication. Why? Because the sky, that represents what the sky represents. Sky blue, that's where communication takes place. So blue is the color of communication. If you have a broken computer, or something broken mechanical in your house, visualize blue around it. And then work on it. Brown is grounding. Brown is grounding. If you could see gravity, which starts at about right below the root chakra, that gravity is this color. Brown. When a person is spaced out, I may have said this before, you could give them a cigar. Give them some chocolate. It's not based on the content, because we know chocolate is really green. It comes from a plant called a chocoaco. So it's mixed with jalapenos and very bitter. It's not that sweet stuff you're getting. But you could tactically use that based on the color vibration. So, right now, what you're going to do, right where I showed you the pineal gland was, at the bridge of the nose, in the center of the brain, you're going to see the pineal gland peep through an ANKH at your forehead. Visualize the opening at the pineal gland, left and right brain, brain stem. This is a grounding technique. Grounding and balancing technique. The arms represent the left and right brain, the opening, the pineal gland, and this is the brain stem. You have to remember, the pineal gland is the communication device between the left and right brain. That's how the two sides of your brain communicate. So you're holding this up, right now, this archetype, up at the pineal gland, at the forehead. And you're grounding and balancing yourself. All right? Anyone had an experience with that? Any problem with it? Yes.
I couldn't get it blue, but I got it, so.
It's going to take time. That's why I brought the actual archetype. Usually I don't even use, this is off my bedroom wall. I usually don't use this, but I understand that people have not activated those parts of the brain that will allow them to use the right brain to visualize. So this is 101. Here it is, look. Put it up at the forehead. When you get up in the morning, you feel out, you're walking across the street, you trip over the curb. Why? Where you going? Where are you going that you're out of balance? Stop and think for a minute and put up the royal blue ankh surrounded by brown and go about your business. Now, for those advanced students, you can also use, with that, the silver infinity over the top of the head. And for the more advanced techniques, we're going to get into later, as we go through the classes, surround it in gold. Gold will intensify it. You could actually surround this in gold and intensify this also. Okay? So that is something that you could use in your life. If you want to know something, oh, I don't remember my dream. Let me try this balancing exercise. Let me use the silver infinity. Write it down. And by the way, for those of you who weren't here, when I started, make sure you get yourself a special journal for these classes and write down these notes. Because a lot of the stuff you're not going to find in a lot of their code books. They'll talk around it and most people won't know what it means. They'll read it and say, oh, Vesica Pisces, what's that? Okay? Or when they talk about the ankh, they could be talking about it from different levels and reflections. You have to know what they're talking about. So get you a dream or a journal, which you can use for your dreams, and things that go on in your life when you use certain techniques, so you know what works for you. Now you got to understand something. There's a difference between reality and perception. These archetypes, the archetypes exist as a collective outside of your reality. You just have the ability to tap into it. Okay? So there's no interpretation here, there's no perception here, and there's no ego here, which we're going to talk about. These are things that exist, just like the Kabbalah. When you look at those separas, those round separas on the Kabbalah, those are entities known as egregores that exist outside of your physical reality. It doesn't have anything to do with you, but it's there so that you access it, those energies or those entities for yourself. That's what the whole story of the fallen angels and all these things, these creatures in the Bible and all that represent. And made to look evil to you. As a matter of fact, so everyone understands this ankh, right? The grounding and balancing technique. What about the silver infinity? Any questions on that before I move on?
Could you do that again?
Do what again?
The silver thing?
Yes, sure will.
Also, Brother Oswald, you had said the silver, as far as, because I had just came in, you said put the silver in a certain pocket.
Put silver in your left pocket.
No, it's, hold on.
Never put money, never put anything that you want to keep in your right pocket. Okay. We're going to go over this one more time so the sister can understand, because it's a class, not a lecture. Silver infinity, son. When you reach a certain age in your life, your hair begins to turn silver because you're growing a silver chakra. You're growing a silver chakra, and that represents wisdom. You've reached a certain, it doesn't matter if I know metaphysics, or if I'm a Christian, or whatever it is, you can still have a silver chakra. You are wise in what you do. Some people, if I'm a minister, it's more perception, which is dealing with the ego. We're going to get into the ego because the ego is extremely heavy. How many of you know what the ego is? You know what it is? Good. Good. So this symbol exists outside of your physical reality. As a matter of fact, go get the Silver Surfer cartoon. The Silver Surfer cartoon. For those of you who can't find it, I'm on 125th Street, mainly during the week down the block, and I usually carry it. In the Silver Surfer cartoon, they show the god and the goddess of the planet. And that god and goddess is, the goddess is known as Infinity, and the god is known as Eternity. Those are your original names, Infinity and Eternity. Females, the female goddess is known as Infinity. The male god is known as Eternity. Okay? That's in the Silver Surfer cartoon, which is excellent because in that cartoon, you gotta understand, those, for some reason, we might think that children are drawing those cartoons and comic books. Trust me, they are not. They are not. In the cartoon, the Silver Surfer is a black man, and he puts on silver and goes about doing the work of Galactus cleansing. That's what silver does. Go see Data Earth sit still. Ptah comes down from Earth and changes into these silver robots that cleanse the Earth. These silver insects. In the movie, Data Earth Stood Still. Even in the original movie, Ptah was silver, the cleanser of the planet. Go see Batman. In Batman, the whole movie was really about getting rid of paper money and dealing with the silver coin. So it's blatant. It's right there in front of your face. It's just a matter of you looking past that exterior ego and understanding what they're saying to you. Look beyond your perception. Substitute the word perception with the word knowing or something other than that word perception. As a matter of fact, you want to substitute it, because I got it written down here. Let's see. I got deception. Yeah, so separate it with any word other than actually saying the word perception or deception. Separate us, use it in the form of, instead of perception, actuality or reality. Okay, so because there's a difference. There's a big difference. We're going to get into that in the second half. Just want to keep track of the time, okay, because we're very short on the time there. Now,
That's a question.
yes.
Move on.
Just, did you understand the silver infinity?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
thank you.
So in relationship to the Ankh in the background, is silver is cleansing, the goal was?
Intensification. Intensifies. Gold intensifies everything we do. I have gold quarters over there. Get you some gold. They're only $5. It's real gold. 24 karat gold. Keep it in your hand. Touch it. Feel it. Keep it in your pocket. You're going to absorb that gold, the particles. And what's going to happen is you are going to regenerate brain cells, and you're going to reverse the aging process. That's what gold does. It lengthens your lifespan. That's why the Egyptians had it. Okay? Now, before I go on, 10 minutes. Before I go on, a few books I want to talk about. Get this book. I have a few on my table there. And it's called Demonology Guide, a guide to the names and history of demons. Why is this important? It's important because when the European goes into the indigenous land masses, all the gods, all the priests, all the so-called witch doctors, all the indigenous shamans became this, demons. That is the standard for conquering a nation, is to make sure that their gods and their healers became demons.
Hold it up for a second so I can get a shot of it. All right.
So every time you read about a demon that you're scared of it because your ego blocks it. Your ego is physical. Oh, that might hurt me. Oh, I don't know, something might happen. That's your ego talking. It's exterior. The spirit is not talking, the ego is. the training that you got through Christianity. White people have a natural ego. You do not. You are given an ego. And I'm going to show you how and why that's done. So this right here, this book, has all these different gods in it, and they drop some science, but at the same time, they tell you all the attributes of these demons, and those demons are in action. My name is in here. Those demons are telling you the energies, the powers that you had, or have, or really I should say had, but you don't have them anymore, because you don't know about it, you forgot it. That's what this is all about. Now, what's interesting about that is as you're reading it, I'm just going to go through a couple here for a minute. It's got the Nagars. Y'all know what the Nagars? You know who the Nagars were, right?
From China. I mean from Asia.
Cambodia. Right. Now, in here, they're saying the Nagars of India in mythology were a race of serpent demons. That's what it says here. The names mean those who do not walk, who creep, and so on and so on. That's what it says for the Nagar. Now, this comes out of London. This book comes out of London, not available in the U.S. Just recently, I bumped into someone who was from Nepal. Where is Nepal? Is that India?
Yeah.
Nepal. And they gave me a book of what the deities actually mean. What they call them. And in here, I looked up the same word, Naga. Now let's see the difference between what white people call it and what they call it. Let's see here. Now this book, I'm not going to advise you to try to get it. I'm going to hopefully try to have it printed up, but it comes out of Nepal. So you probably have a hard time finding it. This one also, because this comes out of London. Okay. Naga, right here at the bottom, and it says serpent. Now let's see what they said. Now we already saw that the white boy said it was a demon, they crawl and creep, and it goes on to say that they crept on the ground and hit their head and their tongue split open so they speak with forked tongues. Isn't that what the Native Americans called white people?
Yes.
White men speak with forked tongues. So you see what they're doing in the book. Why I'm showing you this, because when you start to get into metaphysics, and we're going to explain why you need metaphysics, when you start to get into metaphysics, you're going to see a lot of that. And you're going to have to be able to break it down and understand that this is a conqueror trying to keep you away from it. Now here's what their book says. Remnant of early fertility rites. Worship as divine and semi-divine beings. Frequent ornament of guarding tantric deities. Nagas have power to bring or withhold rain. So they are regarded as gods of rain. They are believed to be the protector of the law of Buddha. That's two totally different breakdowns. You understand? So I'm going to have this in the future. You need to check this one out. This one is a very good book because it's breaking out all the different gods, even some I never heard of.
What is the name?
The name of it is Short Description of Gods, Goddesses, and Ritual Objects of Buddha and Hinduism in Nepal. So come and see me in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'll have that one. This one is available now. This is a very good one too because it's giving you the powers of the demon. And y'all know what demon mean, right? How many of y'all know what demon means?
The way they display it.
Say it again, brother.
in the
Double.
Christian.
Double. It comes from
D-O-U-B-L-E double?
Double. Demon means D-O-U-B-L-E. Double.
And does that book have more, has a variety of?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Double. Let's look at demon for a minute.
Not double, D-E-B.
Demon means double. Why in the hell would that mean double though? That's crazy. Because it is the moon. The moon. It was originally spelled like this. word mon means Monday, moon, and so forth. It comes from the moon. Y'all know that, right? And it was originally spelled daemon. Meant the same thing. Demon, daemon. Which is in actuality the moon. Why is it double? And why is it the moon? Because this word is in actuality you have a moon when? At night. Then you have a moon during the day. The day moon. The double. 2 moons. But, yes ma'am.
How do you tell the day moon?
When you go outside, you see it.
You talking about the sun?
No, the sun. You could see the moon during the day.
Yes, you can.
I never noticed it.
Yes, well look up sometime during the day. You can see the moon during the day.
I never noticed it.
Now, why, if I can see the moon during the day, why is that the demon? I can see it, it's nice, it's not scary like the one at night, but the one during the day is called the demon. Isn't that interesting? It's the same thing they did to the books. It's the same thing they did to the books, they reversed it. The demon, which is during the day, does not invoke fear in you. But they made it invoke fear in you by calling it that. And that's what your books are doing. And like I said, I'm saying this because when you start to read metaphysical books, you're going to read it like that. So when you see demon, remember what it means. It's actually a positive energy. It's the moon during the day. And the moon at night, that's the sun just saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. Remember, archetypes have not only levels of information, but it has a reflection. Okay? The moon is the reflection of the sun, and it also represents the reflection of your subconscious mind. That's what the moon means. Represents as you as a human, your subconscious mind. The hidden things in your subconscious mind that are lit up sometimes by the sun in a variety of colors, usually white, yellow, orange, or black. Okay? So that's one reason why or how they reversed everything that you read in metaphysics or the occult. Y'all know what occult means, right?
Secret.
Is what?
Hidden.
Well, why though? That's the key thing. This is the key. The key is we know terminologies, we know basically like words like as above, so below, but what is the root of it? What does it really mean?
Yeah.
That's a good one. What is an occult?
Or to keep you away from it.
Isn't the occult when the moon blocks out the sun? Isn't that an occult? That's an occult. Right? An occult also is the hidden parts of the female, the vagina. It's hidden. So every time you read metaphysical information and occult information, don't look at it just hidden, just hidden. It means the vagina. It also has an affiliation with the moon blocking out the sun, being the subconscious mind blocking the conscious mind. Everyone understand that? No? The sun,
That's how it's way out.
the sun represents your conscious mind, your everyday living. The things you go out and do, your ego, your perceptions, and all that stuff represents what you do in life, the sun. That's what you do, all of that when you wake up, along with the sun. At night, when you lay down to sleep, the subconscious mind takes over, which is the astral plane, which is the pineal gland. Astral plane and the subconscious mind lives inside your pineal gland. It takes over for you. You are now what? A cult. Just by laying down going to sleep. But if we didn't know no better, we say, wow, that's some scary stuff. That's evil. That we lay down and go to sleep. Because sleep in ancient times was a form of death. And we're going to take about a 20-minute break, and we're going to come back and finish up with the class.
Can I ask a
So,
question?
yes. Also, I want you to remember that, now, here's a DVD. I only have a couple copies. This is The Magic of Solomon by Pope Runyon. On here, he breaks down how white people went to different lands of indigenous people and turned the gods into demons. White boy. Yep. The next class we have, this is the Secret Wars of the Avengers dealing with chess. We're going to be dealing with triple level chess in the future classes. You want to get that and look at that so you know what the hell I'm talking about. Sister Suzar was just in London and she did a phenomenal expose on organ. And if y'all know what organ is, if you don't know what it is, we might get a chance to talk about that a little bit later on, if not in a future class. Organ energy. I also have organ devices. 10, they're all 10 and that one is 30. Okay, so
What is going on?
organ, we're going to talk about it. Ask me that when we start. So get yourself something to eat, some water or whatever, and come back, give me about 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, so you can get those. Brother, pass them back or pass them out. That's very, very important. And when it comes to ritual and things that you might want to do, maybe you got a court date, look at the chart and assess based on your astrological sign when you can go and do it. What's the best time for you? It's rolling?
Ready to roll? Yeah. It's rolling now.
It's rolling?
Yeah.
Okay? You'll be very upset you don't get it, but then again, I said you go to my website and you can print it out also. Yes, it's very, very important.
Say your website again.
Azazel.com.
Spell that.
I'll write it up here. You can reach me through email there, but you can print that out at the website. It's right underneath the flyer. If you don't get one here today, I don't know if I made enough. Get the ego sheet, which is important. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And the planetary hour sheet. Any questions so far?
Yes, I have a question about the coins.
Yeah.
The hand that you should hold, you said always hold the coin in the right hand and put money in the right pocket, right?
No, you can all put money that you want to keep in your left pocket. You can hold anything in either hand. Your skin is going to absorb the particles. But if you want to keep what you have in your pocket, keep it in the left. If you're going to pay a bill and spend or whatever, then you can use the right pocket. Okay? That's what the right means. If you look at some of the Meta-Netra, you'll see some of the deities with two left hands, facing left, or two right hands, facing right, left, right, magnetic energy. And it has layers of information in it. But basically, one is receptive and one is propagative.
Would you say for women though, as a zeal, that they should keep the silver coin in their purse?
I would say you want to actually be touching it. You want to be able to reach in your pocket and touch it. You want the particles to rub off in your skin, under the pores. I don't know how well we should trust the FDA, but they say it's okay to eat gold and silver. It's okay to eat by the FDA, if you trust them. Okay? So for females are highly magnetic. Highly magnetic. That's why men should never sleep with their left arm next to their queen or next to their wife or whatever. Never sleep with your woman on your left.
So never sleep with your woman on the left?
No, I'm sorry. Never sleep with her on the left and she's pulling out of your right. Never do that. My mistake. So if you're laying down in bed, she has to be on your right side.
She can't be on top. What happened if she wasn't ready?
It will help block some of the energy she pulls. Women pull energy from men at night. That's the whole, Solomon did that with women. If you ever read the Bible, he would get them because they had this energy that would pull out sickness, heal it, and all like that with the warmth. So women have that kind of, women, the woman was always known as the vampire. That's why if you read occult books, when you begin to start getting to occult books, you'll see vaginas with teeth. That's the big bad wolf. It's magnetic, it's a black hole. Women have black holes. Okay? So, always watch how, the best way to sleep actually, I don't know how many women would want to do that, is to, your head one way and her head the other. That's the best way to actually sleep.
What?
Yeah, because then you tap into what I showed you earlier with the yin and yang.
Yeah.
And the Vesica Pisces. That's how the energy should flow at night, in a circular motion. You see? Even when females on their menstrual, they curl up in a spiral like that. You see? So females are very, very extremely magnetic. When we get to the sex magic levels of metaphysics, we'll get more deeper into that. The science of the female and, you know, how to attract the right lovers and all the kind of things everybody want to know.
Oh yeah, I would like to know that.
But a very good position for the female if she wants to get pregnant is to be on top. If she wants to have a baby. And you could draw, if you have problems getting pregnant, you could draw a spiral on the womb, a vortex. That will bring an entity in. She will get pregnant. A red spiral. Okay? So, and always be careful what you ask for. Because we're going to go through techniques and the way to attract people to you and attract things to you. Just be very aware. And that's the word I was looking for before when I said perception. Instead of perception, let's substitute the word perception for awareness. Because awareness has no judgment in it. Has no judgment in it. You're just aware of the situation. You see. But if I perceive something, like if I'm standing here and this young lady, she understands what I say, I go, oh, she's very perceptive. What I'm saying as a school teacher or as a programmer, that's what school teachers are. They have controllers, which are the principal. The programmer will say, oh, she's very perceptive. That means that what that actually means is that she agrees to what we say this means. You hear them say that in school. When you want to substitute the word perception really for awareness. Because awareness is either near or there. You know it exists, and it's what you do about it. It's what you do about it. All right. Another book. We're going to need this book in the future classes. Get this book. You go to the Botanicas, and it's called Brazilian Palo Primer. Kimbanda Receipts to Make You Win at Love, Money, Business, and Life by Robert Lamry. Robert Lamry, Brazilian Palo. You're going to need this book. You need to read it. And we're going to talk a little bit right now about it.
Okay.
Anyone knows what? Excuse me? Robert T. Lamry. That's L-A-R-E-M-Y, Lamry. You can go to the Botanicas and get this book.
Spell that last name again, brother?
L-A-R-E-M-Y.
And say
Robert Lamry, and the name of the book is called Brazilian Palo Primer.
P-A-R-L-O-R.
P-A-L-O. Palo. How many people know what Palo is?
Dealing with plants.
Palo is actually, they have two divisions of it. One in Africa. The Palo is in Africa, the Congo. Then you have it in Brazil. In Brazil it's called Umbanda, which later became Kimbanda, a division of it. And why it became, it's really based on the rituals and the ceremonies of the Bantu, where they mixed with the, well actually they're related to the the Kimbanda, I think it's called the Tupi tribe. The Tupi tribe in South America. So in Africa, it's called, we call it Palo. In South America, it's called either Quimbanda or Kimbanda, which originated from Umbanda, which is part of the Bantu and a lot of the tribes that were in the Congo of Africa and their travels as Moors back and forth to South America. Because the Indians that are there are Bantu people. The original Indians that was in South America were Bantu. That's why Indian, the word Indian means black. It comes from a word known as indigo, which is blue-black. That's why you have, in the islands, you have West Indians. See, so West Indians, black people. I call it black, negars, niggers, whatever. Whatever you want to, whatever terminology you want to use.
And what are the women names?
Oh, we were joking earlier, and I told her that the black man was called negars, but the black woman was called nagars. That's just a little joke we had between ourselves. But read this book, and you'll see that the Tupi tribe. Now, I'm going to show you something here. The reason why Kimbanda is important is because they were the only system of voodoo that kicked the white boy out. The Santeria that you see with all those Catholic deities, that is the Catholic Church's voodoo system. They have a voodoo system. The stuff you're scared of, Catholic Church got that. And they sanction all the botanicas. That's why you get anything you want in Botanica, because they have their voodoo priests go in there. Called Santeria. Got nothing to do with you, dealing with the Catholic Church. Which was flipped on you by them through the destruction of the Moors. Because the original title for voodoo comes from a French black man named Vadoun. Right? Yes.
Is there such thing, we still have today shamans?
Sure. You have shamans. You have them in Africa. A shaman just did a tape on Obama. I forgot his name. Mutuar, I think his name was. Yes, sure you have it. Many of us would be called shamans if we were living in the time before the conquerors came into Africa. Remember what I said, when they went to Africa, they changed all the deities to devils and demons. Kimbanda. In the Kimbanda system, you have a tribe of Bantus known as the Tupi tribe. And let me just show you, here's the silver coin that I'm selling. I only have a few. I really don't want to sell them, but I had to bring them for this particular class just in case a few people want it. Take a look at that coin.
Indian.
That's not an Indian head. That's a black man. That is Tupi. From the Kimbanda religion. They threw all the white people out. You see it? What is this voodoo system, this Tupi, doing down in South America?
I need you to pause for like 20 seconds.
Go ahead, bro.
Change the tape.
Yes. So sunflower will activate his power. Sunflower and a cigar. That's all in a glass of water and a white sheet. It's very simple. We're going to get into, when we get later on into the voodoo classes. When we're going to lead up to the voodoo classes, I can't just come and drop it on you like that because some people are still scared. Got to get you over the fear first.
All right, we're good.
So remember, the Santeria and a lot of the Yoruba, they still got a lot of white deities up in there. And when you're dealing with white deities, you're dealing with the ego. And what I'm saying to you is not based on my emotional feelings toward white people, but basically what white people say about themselves, we're going to talk about, as far as the ego and their skin. Okay? The lighter you are, the stronger your ego is. Regardless of how you do your ego now, you have taken on information throughout lifetimes that cause you to be lighter. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the Kimbanda system, they threw off, even though now, ain't nothing but white people, that's all they do. That they heavily into the Apollo, and they fly down there and live there. That's how powerful the Kimbanda system is. Remember, the Haitians threw the white boy out, and who else? The Brazilians, remember? Kulimbo. What's the movie? Quilombo, something like that. Right, Quilombo. Right. That's coming out of the Kimbanda system. And this is Tupi. Now, we would normally, you look at this coin, you say, well, that's an Indian. That ain't no Indian, that's a black man. Tupi. What's he doing on American so-called currency? On a silver coin? What kind of power does this religion, this stuff have? To be on a silver coin. This, you can't deny it, it's right there. Exactly the same. You see it? Exactly. Can you focus on that?
Okay.
So now, we already talked about silver, but now we're talking about not just the value of the silver, but what about the value of the surface? What's on the silver has another value. That's why you want to begin to collect these coins. You see, so keep a Tupi. Magical coin.
And how much are you selling that for?
These are $30. I originally thought they were easy to get. And after I started selling them, everybody bought them, I found out it ain't that easy to get. So hopefully at the coin show, which is April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Hopefully I'll see more faces over there. That's the what? Yeah, Westchester County, same one. Same one, same one. And it's my contention that you don't have long. You don't have long because from the many sources that I researched from as far as conspiracies are concerned, things are going to be starting to shake, it's going to start to shake up quick. I mean, people, when I was downtown yesterday, and just looking at white people, I could see how jobless and how out of whack, how unfunctionable they are right now. Like I said, they're living in tent cities. So you want to elevate yourself, use your magic, get the astrology chart, the one that I handed out, and know yourself. That's the only way you can love yourself, is to know yourself.
You say use your magic.
Right. When I say use your magic, you get the Tupi coin, use the visualizations, all the things that we either are afraid of or forgot about. Okay? Now, we talked a little bit about Vesica Pisces and all that. We talked about the magnetic energy of the female. She is also, when we talked about the triangle pointing down, the triangle pointing up, female energy is basically, sexually especially, come down. So all the fellas, when you talk to a sister or female, you must learn how to master your lower self. That's down here. Because we are aroused from down here first. Females are aroused from up here first. And you come together. And that's what makes this. So, your energy starts down here and then flows up. Her energy starts up here and then flows down. That's why Evelyn Champagne King, remember? Love come down. Love come down. So if I'm thinking of my lower nature, how can I possibly relate? And that's what the whole science of mastering your lower nature. You have a higher nature and a lower nature. Now let's get into physical reality. Let's get ready to go into hyperspace. let's know some things about our physical reality, and maybe even some of us. First of all, when a child is born, that is rest for their soul. Every child, because you take care of them, you feed them, you wipe their ass, you do everything for them. And that's why you come here as a child to rest before you begin your next phase of classes. So every child born has a period of rest before they begin their classes. Most of us were trained and programmed to go get a job at 14, 15. I started working when I was 14 years old. I had my first job, first apartment, 15. Traveled the world by the time I was 22. So we're trained into certain things. For instance, instead of training you to start your own business, you're trained to go get a job.
Yeah.
But that may be your reason for coming here. It may be. So what happens is you take a rest period as you're born, and then when you become a certain age, when either the heart chakra or the solar plexus begin to activate, then you start to take on your lessons. Everything in your life is a lesson. Everybody in your life is you. Does that make any sense to everybody? Understand that everybody in your life is you? Everybody sitting here is somewhere a reflection of my subconscious mind somewhere. And vice versa. Each person here is a reflection of somebody in here. Somebody in here represents a reflection of them. Some aspect of themselves. And you can actually take a list and write up here the names, as a matter of fact, all the way down, the names of people you know. Then right next to it, what aspect of that person have a similitude to me? What do they have that I have? And then you will know each person in your life and what the reflection is that they have with you. Their purpose. Because their purpose is only to show you yourself. That's the only reason why they're near you. Otherwise, they will not be, they won't even know you. Okay? So every person shows you something about yourself. Many of you, I know Timmy and many of you guys should know that already. So, a child, when he comes in the world, is rest for the soul. Now let's look at the type of ways you could come into the world. And what they mean and why you need to know this information. You have something known as fraternal twins. What is a fraternal twin? First, let me explain what that is. And this is physical reality. Actually, I don't know. Just do that. Fraternal twins are two separate souls being born through the same mother, but need the same experiences. Everyone understand that? So, now remember, there's a fraternal twin and a maternal twin. The fraternal twin are two separate people that chose this woman right here, whoever, because they have the right genetics that hold a certain amount of thoughts, that can hold the thoughts they have. The DNA is strong enough to hold the thoughts, and the thoughts they have can collect up with theirs. Everybody here chose their mother and father. You wait for the right genetics. And you choose your parents based on the information they have in their DNA. That's why you see, we were talking about it last night, we have a cat, and he acts like a human. And my cat, I'm not going to bring no other cat in there, so he's never going to see another cat. So when that cat dies, he has no other choice than to become human, because he has human thoughts. and never seen another cat. Thought is everything. Thoughts make you, your facial features, your body type, your skin color. Your thoughts are everything. So fraternal twins are two people born through the same mother. They need the same thoughts, but they're two separate people, two separate entities, seeking the same experience.
Is that your spirit self and your higher?
Your soul. Your soul. Your soul journey. You're only here because you have something to learn and something to do. That's the only reason why you come to Earth and do what you do. You're not here to party, chill, and have a good time. You can have a good time while you learn your lessons. You have lessons to learn. You chose to come here, and this time, with all the stuff that's going down, you chose to be here when a black man is the president. You chose that. Let's look at maternal twins, which is also known as identical. You don't read that? You know, I need to be tall, you know, I gotta be up high for it to look. What's the difference? What could possibly be the difference between fraternal and maternal?
Isn't it that the maternal twins is born in one sac instead of separate?
Very good, brother. Very, very good. Very exceptional. Now, if I take...
Azazel, would that be the same as identical twins?
Yes. With maternal twins, you start off with one ovary. And what happens is it splits apart and become two people. So what that means is that that's in actuality one person. A maternal twin is one person. And that one person came to experience so much information that it needed two bodies. Everyone understand that? So fraternal twin starts off as two people. Maternal twin starts off as one person, split apart, and it has so many lessons to learn, and it has to balance itself out. So it becomes two people, but it's in actuality one. Siamese twins. These are some of the things that can happen when you come from the spirit world or the astral plane into physical reality. And it's going to help you to understand who you are. Siamese twin. Very interestingly, pretty much the same, could be either fraternal or maternal. Isn't that interesting? Could be either one. But what happens is they can be conjoined together because they didn't learn how to separate. If it's one person trying to split apart, he didn't learn how to separate, and he came here in physical reality to study the part where he's connected and let go. That's his purpose, his reason.
Can we have a quick definition of soul and spirit?
Spirit is dealing with the astral plane. Soul is who you are. You are soul personality. A light. Soul means sun. You are a sun. Spirit is the light from the sun. Spirits can exist without a soul. Whenever you see apparitions, ghosts, entities, or whatever, those are residue spirits or residue energy left behind. If I could get myself trapped into doing something every day. If you do something every day, go to work 9 to 5 every day, well, how in the hell do you expect to go to heaven or wherever you think you're going? When you're doing the same thing every day, you become trapped. So when you die, that's all you know. And you still walking around going to work. Dead. What do you think is happening out here? There, if you go outside on the street, there's all kind of entities everywhere walking around, all around you. That's why we have these classes, because you're going to have to know how to protect yourself, especially now. Especially now. Yes, yes.
You said, so who you are, the son.
Your soul is the sun, right here in the pineal gland.
Oh, okay.
You have a
okay.
son.
Okay, now I see what you're talking about.
And the sun, let's say the sun represents all those wonderful things we call it. Truth, light, health. Let's say the sun represents that. That means that when that sun shines, I'm not the only one standing here with knowledge. Everybody gets it. Trees, bugs, plants, people, the sun shines on everybody. It's a matter of you accepting that information. Your ego can allow you not to accept that information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, white people are born with a superego. That's what white skin is. Because black people, we do not reject the sun. If the sun represents truth, light, and health, and all those good things, it permeates our whole body. It goes through us, it heals our organs, it does it heals the pineal gland, we do sun gazing. The sun is very helpful to you. Because your ego represents exterior knowledge, the outside you. Your ego represents the propagation of yourself. It's physical. It doesn't exist in the spirit world. It's only physical. Your ego becomes hurt because of somebody said something or did something physical. Or you act a certain way because you want to look a certain way. That's the ego. You're trained, that's training for you as a black person. White people are born with it. Because they're born with it because their skin will not allow the sun to penetrate their organs. It only hits the ego, which is the exterior skin, wrinkles it up into dinosaur skin, peels and gets red. That's the ego. The rejection of truth, knowledge, energy, and health. They are born with an exterior ego. You are trained. Every sickness you get is based on the ego because you're blocking out sun energy from healing you. Every illness is ego.
Yeah. How do you juxtapose that with, like I hear a lot of musicians, songwriters saying they get creative at night after the sun goes down, like in the wee hours of the morning. That's when
Well, but that's because we know that melanin has that, what's that hour between 10 and 2 in the morning?
10 and 4.
10 and 4, when the melanin kicks in, and that's when men are at their most sexual. Now, you talking about white people?
I've heard Stevie Wonder say that he gets creative at night.
Yeah. Well, he has melanin. He's creative 24/7. Understand that, and then at the same time, he's programmed. Because the music that we listen to has a has a beat. Originally, we didn't deal with beats. It was chaotic. It was free jazz. When you go to Africa, hear those drums, it's all over the place. If you hear any music that has a beat that you could dance to, that is programming and mind control. The music you need to begin to listen to is Alvin Ailey, late Coltrane, Ohm, all those chaotic beats that went everywhere. It was not constricted. Get the book by Alana Cantrell, white lady, scientist, put together all these documents on that subject. Alana Cantrell, The Greatest Story Never Told. Highly recommend that book. Go online and do whatever you can to get it. It's dynamite. I just didn't feel like carrying it. It's too damn big. I didn't feel like carrying it.
Could you spell it?
Her name is, what is it, Lana or Alana? Lana. Lana. Well, you know what? Write this down. The Greatest Story Never Told. L-A-N-A is her first name. Cantrell. C-A-N-T-R-E-L-L.
You can get it on Amazon.
Excellent, excellent book. I haven't been able to put it down. excellent book. And this is a white scientist breaking down how the sun affects them and how melanin is better and how the black man is better. And this is an incredible book. Incredible book. Incredible. Not a contrary. So yes, the lighter you are in physical reality, the more ego you have taken on throughout your incarnations. We're not talking about you here as a person right now. Many of us are egotistical right now. Some of us are working on it. But I'm talking about your incarnation throughout physical reality down the line. The lighter you have become, the more ego you have taken on, because you are rejecting knowledge, which is the sun. You're rejecting light. You're rejecting truth and health. And that's what calcification of the pineal gland, which most of us really have some degree of calcification because your bones were black. Your bones are white now. White represents that calcification that you have. Your bones were black and they were elastic. All right, we got 15 minutes, and I got some stuff here, bro. Oof, we're gonna have to continue next weekend, but let me just finish up with the Siamese twins. They had not learned how to separate. The person hadn't learned how to separate to gain all the knowledge you get, so it gets trapped and stuck with each other. And the part that the person is stuck with, it may be the brain, it may be here, those parts are what they need to come here and learn for. So when you see on TV they said they were successful, they cut the person's head open and they separated the twins, they're going to reincarnate again the same way because they can't learn that way what they came here to learn. You understand? And that's what happens to you. You need to make sure by doing certain visualizations, especially the Ankh and the Silver Infinity, that you stay within the parameters of why you came here. Because if you miss the lesson, you've got to repeat it. And when you repeat it, it's a lot stronger because your own subconscious mind says, wow, I didn't get it the first time, I better do something a little bit harder. And you call it negative or bad when it's something you didn't learn. That's what a nightmare is. That's why you get nightmares. A nightmare is you not accepting the information in your daily walk of life. And then a dream comes and says, here, check this out. Break it down. This is what's happening with you. And then you dismiss it. Then you have the same dream again. And then you have it again. Then finally now it's a nightmare. It changes. The people in it will change. The situation will change. But the underlying current will be the same. So it becomes a nightmare. And once it becomes a nightmare, then if you don't deal with it then, it becomes illness. Then if you don't deal with it after it becomes an illness, it becomes an accident. Once, if it's not an accident, if you still don't deal with it after the accident, you're dead. That's the last stage. You must learn the lessons that you came here for. Put the Silver Infinity over the head, spin it to your right. It's going to keep you in your destiny, what you came here to learn and do. And it's going to help you. You're going to come back to me and go like, wow, show me how to do that again. Put gold around it once you master it to strengthen it, to intensify it. Soulmates. What is a soulmate?
Someone
Your
that
life
you
partner?
Well,
Someone you connect with on a spiritual level.
it's funny because what we've been taught soulmate is totally up, just like the demon books, how they flipped it on us. Good try, brother.
Is this someone that you belong with? Someone
Good
that
try,
you,
sister.
Oh,
Someone you really don't have to explain anything to.
That could be part of it. Yes, brother.
Is it someone that you know the other part of yourself that you don't really find out?
That can be true because there are two soulmates. One soulmate is people who travel with you throughout your incarnations, friends, family, and so forth.
Oh, okay.
That's one soulmate. The one you're talking about, as far as a lover is concerned, well, guess what? If soulmates actually meet and got together, they can't do it because nothing would get done. You never meet your soulmate. Okay? There is a soulmate that is your lover, But you will never meet them because it would hinder your lessons. You would be into each other too much. Soulmate. Then you have the people you travel with, family members. Some people that travel with you that are family members can be demons that are attacking you throughout incarnations, follow you because of something you did in a past life. They could be your mother, your sister, anybody. They could follow you to the next incarnation to get revenge. That's how deep the spirit world is. That's why you need to know this information. And I'm going to have to stop right there. And the next class, go to my website to find out when the next class is, because the next class wasn't really scheduled till 4/19, but I'm going to try to have one here next weekend. And I'm going to finish up what I'm talking about here, and Dawood is going to come. He said he had some very, very empowering, important information. Usually gets me stirred up emotionally, but he said he had some good information. Exercise I want to try before we get up out of here. Anybody got a question first?
Going to dreams, you was like, if you dream and then you don't get your lesson and you dream has that same dream again and again. Like with me, when I have 3 dreams of the same, they always come true. But it's always true.
You should start writing that stuff down, man. Get you that. Don't forget what I said. Get you a journal. I think, what is this, my 5th? I don't know how many I got now. I got a library of journals. Okay, and write that information down. And later on, you go back and go like, wow, what was I dealing with at that time? Because you're going to see it reoccur. Everything's a cycle. Everything's a cycle.
I wanted to ask you something, because twice I had dreams about spaceships.
Yeah.
That usually means that some devastating event is going to come into your life that you don't have no control over.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Not aliens and spaceships represents higher intelligence.
The rose gold, because you were saying like all the alloys and how the gold is
Silver is the best.
Yeah, but I
Silver.
mean rose gold. I mean, what's your take on that?
I don't
flooding
know
the
that
market.
much. Is that the one where you can eat that? Is that the
Nah, you can't eat it, but it looks kind of like it has like a copper kind of hue to it. But it's
yeah, but
flooding
see,
the
everything they're putting out now is alloys and mixtures of stuff. If it does not say 999 fine silver, then leave it alone.
Okay.
Leave it alone. Because we're working with not only changing our currency, but we're working with health. We're working for purification. You want to keep demons and stuff off of your ass.
What about gold? What are you looking for gold?
Same thing.
999.
999. If it doesn't, it could be a, when you go to the coin show, you could trust those people there a little better rather than just buying it anywhere into stores and stuff like that. But you go down in the 50th Street area, they'll give it to you too. But I wouldn't suggest gold right now. When I got in with the gold, it was only $840 a coin. Now it's $1,200. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get it now. Get the silver now, because silver is going to be about, I would say, give it a year and a half, about $1,000 a coin. Right now they're only like 30, 20. They're going to go flying because the white boys snatching it up. They know what's happening with the economy and the money.
I want to ask you about the music. You said any music with a beat you can dance to is programmable.
It's programming.
But what about like the African drums? You have the different parts, and when you're dancing, you're really dancing in syncopation.
That's different. The African, like I said, the African drums, they don't have a set beat. It changes quickly. It doesn't. It's not like I could like do the hustle off of it.
When you do an African dance, you do a syncopation. This arm
Yes,
doing
yes,
this
yes,
leg and your
yes,
head.
yes. That's not what I'm talking about. Music that has a beat, disco, hip hop, all of that stuff, unless it has that chaotic throw-off beat, like jazz has, then that's programming. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it. I like it sometimes too. I like to chill with some beats too. I'm just saying, balance it out. Don't have one set of music. Programming you constantly, boom, boom, boom. Go and get you some Ornette Coleman. Sun Ra, Ornette Coleman. They're going to take you out there. They're going to change that up. Right brain is free beats, free jazz. Left brain is physical and just a steady, straight mind control programming beat. And that's what the ego is in the left brain.
Okay, a lady named Queen Bay was on where I met you, with that, the television station. And she spoke about currency as well, like what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And that something about the Moors is supposed to be more associated.
Queen Valahara, yes.
Yes.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's no secret what I'm saying here as far as the currency is concerned.
But
How many of
the
y'all-
white men getting back into taking that hard?
Say it again?
How is the white man getting to take that as well?
Taking
To
the,
get the currency, to get the gold by.
they did it already in 1933. They did that in 1933.
And we can't get that back?
Well, that's what I'm doing, that's why I'm standing here doing. You know, that's what we're doing, that's what we promote. You see? And that's what the Moors need to do, and many of them are. Collect silver and gold coins, you're gonna collect something. Yes?
We're gonna talk about this the next one.
No, we're out of time. We're gonna do next class we're gonna talk about that, yes. We did a little bit earlier with the Kimbanda. Were you here when we talked about? Okay, so next week I'm gonna do a half an hour next week, and Darwin is gonna be speaking. Possibly, but first check my website for the dates, because the next class really wasn't supposed to start till next month when I'll leave bed. But hopefully, if Adichie cleared up some spots, we can continue and then go to those spots. I have to talk to him first.
Is your website?
But if it's a go, we will be here next week, and I will do half an hour, and then I will. Now, one exercise before you go. How many of y'all ever get up in the morning and tell yourself you love yourself?
Not all the time, but I do.
How many of y'all even say the word love during the day? We're not talking about love somebody else, but loving yourself. Because once you love yourself, guess what? Your reflections are all around you. So let's try a little exercise here today.